Hello, this is Grace Everlasting 7 here, and I have a pickups video. And in the past I did this a little different. I kind of just did a video on several games for one system, so I would wait until I got several 3DS games or several GameCube games, and then I would just do a pickup video for that system. But they got to be a little too tedious, and as you can see in front of me I have a lot of games because I got a little behind doing it that way. So I decided to change it up and just do pickup videos. So whatever games I find, you know, maybe every month or every 2 months or so, I kind of just put all of them in one video and kind of just do a little pickups video that way. So this would be pickups video 1 in this new format. All right, let's take a peek and see what I have. And this is the newest one I just picked up. It is still sealed. I haven't opened it. It's Radiant Historia Perfect Chronology. This is the launch edition, and this is the remake of the DS game. So I know it has some updated graphics and features and things like that. I haven't played the original one, so I'm not too sure what was updated really, but I'm pretty excited to have a newer version of it, so we'll see how it is. Alright, continuing on with the 3DS games here. We have Shinobi. And I played this a while back. I think it was on the Game Gear or something. I know I played it on something. I can't remember, but it was a lot of fun, so I decided to pick it up for the 3DS, and it wasn't too expensive. It was pretty decently priced, so I snagged it. And next we have Luigi's Mansion Dark Moon, and I do have the first one on the GameCube, so this was supposed to be, well, not supposed to be, it is the update, and I'm not sure why the European version they call it Luigi's Mansion 2, and North American they called it Luigi's Mansion Dark Moon. Still does not make any sense to me because it's still the second one, so I don't get it. And I just got this one also, so I haven't had a chance to play it, but I did like the original. It's a lot of fun to play, so I'm looking forward to giving this a try. Alright, I'll pull the next two off together actually because they're related. So I have Bravely Default here, and I also have Bravely Second End Layer, and they're both RPG games, and I did snag them together. The second one is still sealed. I haven't busted it open yet because I haven't even gotten through the first one yet. So when I finish the first one and I start the second one, then I will bust it open. I don't keep my games sealed, but I do until I play them. So if I haven't played them yet, I'll leave them sealed until I'm ready to open it. So there's the Bravely Default. All right, on to the Nintendo DS games here. And I've picked up Harvest Moon DS, The Tale of Two Towns. And I haven't played this one yet, but it looks pretty charming, so I decided to snag it. I think it was under 10 bucks too, so can't really argue with that. Next game I have here is Yoshi's Island DS. And I believe this is the remake of the SNES version. I haven't ever played this on the DS yet, which is why I snagged it. So, but I think this is a SNES remake. I'm pretty sure. I haven't even played the SNES one in a very long time, so I don't remember it. But I think this is a SNES remake. So, DS, they usually update things, and I was intrigued and decided to pick it up. Again, wasn't too expensive. That's how I roll. I try to find games that aren't too expensive and pick them up. Next game here is Orcs and Elves. And I didn't know much about this one, but this was suggested to me, so I decided to grab it. Plays like a, I think this one plays like an RPG if I'm not mistaken. Doesn't really say. But it is from the makers of Doom RPG, so it might be. I don't know much about this game, but somebody recommended it to me. It wasn't expensive at all, pretty cheap actually, and I decided to pick it up. It sounded interesting to me. Alright, and finally the last of the Nintendo DS games is Golden Sun Dark Dawn. And this, I believe, is the sequel to the Game Boy Advance version. And I have not had a chance to play the Game Boy Advance version, so I can't tell you much about this one. But sequels are always good, so I decided to pick it up. Doesn't really say too much. Usually it has a little more of a synopsis on there, but not too much. Alright, Golden Sun Dark Dawn. Okay, on to the N64 games here. I have them stacked on top. And I picked up The Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time, because I mean, how could you not have that on the N64? And I did put this in a plastic protective case. No, I don't have N64 games complete in box. They're a little expensive. Maybe somewhere down the line I might do some box upgrades, but for right now, I'd rather just have the game so I can play it, and eventually maybe I'll get some of them complete in box. Next game is Blast Corps, and this was pretty cheap, and I remember playing this a little bit on the N64. Next is F-Zero X, and I didn't play this version too much. I played the SNES version a lot. I grew up playing that more than this one, but this one is still a lot of fun. I do love the F-Zero series. Next one I picked up is Rayman 2: The Great Escape. I had never played this before, and I still haven't played it yet. It's in my backlog of games, but this was recommended to me. Somebody said this was a pretty good platformer, so I decided to pick it up, and it was pretty cheap, so I just snagged the cart. And finally, the last of the N64 games is Super Mario 64, because you absolutely have to have that on the N64. And this was pretty much the main game that I played on the N64, and I love Super Mario 64. It is tons of fun. It was a lot of fun getting all the stars and collecting all the red coins, and I still love playing this. I'll still pop it into the N64 and play this. It was tons of fun. First 3D Mario, and I think it did very well. Alright, on to the GameCube games. So, here we have Namco Museum, and this has a bunch of arcade games, so it's a compilation of arcade games. Some of them I played and some of them I haven't, like Pac-Man and Galaga. I think I've played Dig Dug, but I don't remember playing Pole Position. I don't think I've played that, but Namco Museum, if you like the arcade games, this is a nice compilation of them. Next is Turok Evolution. I had never played any of the Turok games, and I saw this one. It was pretty cheap, so I snagged it. Sounded interesting to me. 1 to 4 player simultaneous. I try to find some games that are multiplayer and some games I could play with my husband, because we like to play some video games together sometimes. Next game is Extreme G Racing. Is it XG3, I think it's called, or Extreme G3, however they call it. And it's pretty much your basic motorcycle racing game. So a racing game on a bike, pretty much. But I didn't have a motorcycle racing game, so I decided to pick one up, and it was pretty cheap, so couldn't go wrong with it. Next game is Shadow the Hedgehog, and I know this game got a lot of flack because Shadow is using a gun as a weapon, and It kind of left the true traditional Sonic, but that's okay. I decided to pick it up anyway. Again, it was a cheap game, and I wanted to see what it was about for myself. I haven't played it yet, so when I actually do, I'll let you know what I think of it. Next game is Amazing Island. Imagine, build, and collect your own monster creations. So this one sounded interesting to me. Again, wasn't too expensive, so I decided to snag it and see what this one's about also. But I haven't played it yet, which you'll find happens with a lot of my games because I have a lot of games and sometimes they just wind up on my backlog, and I have other games that I'd rather play first, so they just kind of sit there and wait their turn. Next, SSX on Tour, and this is the version that has Peach, Mario, and Luigi, and you can play this snowboarding game with them. And I know there's a version of this game without them in it, but I wanted the version with them in it just to, you know, make it a little more fun. So you could play as Peach, Mario, and Luigi and snowboard. And I like snowboarding games, they're a lot of fun. So I snagged this one. And the final GameCube game is Piano 3, or Product Number 3. And this is a Capcom game. I did get this one cheap also, which is a good thing because the controls are a little strange. And I had popped this in for a little bit and I was trying to play it, and I don't know, the controls, I don't know, it's just a little weird. It's a little hard to control, I feel sometimes. So I'm pretty glad I picked this up cheap. Maybe I'll get used to it and be able to play it a little better, but for right now, I think this game is like, eh. So if you're looking to complete your collection, make sure you get that one cheap. I'd say like 10 bucks or less. All right, getting down to the last little bit of my collection here that I have picked up. So I have one NES game, and it is Heavy Barrel. And this is a shooting game. My husband wanted to pick this one up, and I snagged this off of eBay. It's actually not bad. It's a little tough, but it's pretty fun. So if you're looking for a shooter, this isn't a bad one. And finally, what you're staring at in the middle here are Super Famicom games here. And yes, they are in Japanese. And if you're asking me if I can read Japanese, no, I can't. I cannot read a word of Japanese. So if you're wondering how I play this, I actually play these on the not the Super Famicom. I play these on the Retron 5 because you can load translation patches on there, and it will translate the game into English, which is awesome because then I can play it. So let me show you what I picked up here. Now this one, I'm not sure if I can say it in Japanese. I think it's Seiken Densetsu 2 or something like that. But this is the version Secret of Mana. So we have Secret of Mana, and this is what they named their version of it. I don't know why sometimes things get out of order or different numbers on them, but they do sometimes when they come to North America. So this is Secret of Mana. I'm so happy to have this because the American cart or North American cart is actually pretty expensive. So I was happy to get the Japanese one. It was not that expensive at all. So very excited to have that. This I picked up is Final Fantasy V, again with the box. So not only are the Japanese games a little cheaper, but it's got a little smudging on the side, not too bad. But not only are the Japanese games a little cheaper, but I also get the really awesome looking box art too. And yes, I do have plastic protectors on them because some of these cardboard boxes that you find are a little tattered, so I'd want to protect them. The next one here is Chrono Trigger. Another one I'm very excited to have. I never got a chance to play this on the SNES, so I'm pretty excited to have this version added into my collection so I can play it. Pretty awesome, very excited. And finally, I have Super Mario RPG, which in North America is Super Mario RPG. I think it's Legend of the Seven Stars, something to that effect. But I'm excited to have this one too. Not as expensive as the other ones, just for the cart, but I like having the box art also. The box art is pretty awesome to have along with the cartridge. Alright, so that wraps it up for my pickups video number 1. And I'm going to try and do these pickup videos maybe once a month or every 2 months or so, depending on when I have time to shoot these. I'll try my best to keep up with it. But let me know what games that you liked in this pile, what games that maybe I'm missing that you would suggest I'd pick up, because I'm always on the lookout for games and game suggestions that other people liked, and I will check them out and possibly add them to my list if I'm interested in them. Alright, I appreciate your views. Please like, comment, and subscribe if you have not done so already. Thanks for watching, and have a good one.